All right, how you doing today? Today we're taking a look at one of the new modules in Ozone 12. This is your bass control. Get your bass under control, if you will. So very simple to use, very cool module here. And by the way, check out my other videos. I have other videos on Ozone 12 here and hundreds of other videos on music production. There'll be links down in the video description below so you can get all the information on Ozone 12, the different versions of it and everything. So check that out. But anyways, let's get into this. So we're just going to open up this bass control module here and I'm going to show you how it works really quickly. I have this track here and the low end's just not right. You need a little more boost in it. And let's just check it out here before. So we have the waveform down here as a meter, and then we have our balance here. And while it's playing, I'll mute it here. While it's playing, you can see these little dots bouncing around. And we can see right here that it's very light. So we could just adjust it like this. I'm obviously not listening to it at the moment, but it's getting right more into the center. And I have it boosted by 10. But don't worry, it's not going to overdo it or anything like that. And then we have our punchiness kind of right in the center. We'll experiment with this in a second here. But let's play it before and after with just by boosting that balance there more to the center, if you will. So here's before. Turn it on. So very nice. We just added that low end back into the track. We also have a cutoff frequency over here at 120 Hertz. We can set that. And then of course we have these other controls down here that we can play around with, and we can experiment with some punchiness too. Let's do that. That seems to be fine. And let's just, for example's sake, let's just dial this all the way back. So I kind of like it right there. And then our sustain power and our peak control, these are kind of like you're adding in harmonics when you get the dirtier sound or cleaner. And we have a threshold here, and of course there's a meter there. And then we have our amount here. Now what this does, this is good for if you want to add in some harmonics and stuff like that for those smaller speakers where that bass low end is going to cut through better. Might not be too much here if we play it, but and that's what that does. And then we have the peak control here, which is basically a limiter. And if we threshold here, and then we have our dirty, which is kind of like a hard clipper. And then our cleaner sound is going to be a little bit more, those things cut through or whatever. And you can see by the waveform here that it's very heavily clipped. And then we have the peak control here by these meters as well. So very cool module here in Ozone 12 to really fix that low end, get it right in your mix where you want it to be. Now this could also be very helpful if you're producing your song, you're mixing it, and you want to check your low end, and you can say, okay, let me check out this bass control plugin here, or module, if you will, and then adjust your bass within your tracks before you get to the mastering session. I like to experiment around. I'm gonna experiment around with it myself that way as well. There will also be links in the video description below for this, so you can check out their website and get more in-depth information on all their modules in the new Ozone 12. Check out my other videos floating around the screen here. I have hundreds of other videos in my back catalog, a bunch of stuff on Ozone 12 here as well, and more to come. So any questions, leave them down in the comments below. That is all for now. I will talk to you soon.